Hello everybody, and welcome to a Lunar Arena game, Season 3, Week 10 of Aporia eSports versus Eternity. We are starting out today on Busan. So, let's go ahead and get started. I am the only commentator today. My partner could not make it, but we'll make the most of it.
Now traveling to Busan. Initiating match.
And today we will have Aporia eSports in the blue versus Eternity in the purple, starting out here on Busan, South Korea. Starting the map here in 15 seconds. Just coming back to this league recently, I have not had the chance of seeing either of these teams play, so it will be quite interesting to see who comes out on top.
Ready for battle. Capture the objective.
Following here, Vapor Mist as the main tank of Eternity. He goes straight to point and is dived quickly on by the enemy team. One team running what looks like a dive, and the other team running a very clear Chaos comp solo Hammond tank. With Honeymilk going down on the side, and it's still an equal fight, each losing one, but Gory Boss losing his mech is going to be a big deal, and Gory Boss is quickly taken down by the enemy team. A res there on Honeymilk makes this a clear win for Aporia eSports. Super Lure can see the writing on the wall and throws himself off of the edge along with JT. Eternity here still has time to make a recover. MJ getting low, but is not going to be a problem, pulling back. Eternity taking the high ground here, and their main tank has made contact. Going in, trying to get secure kills quickly, but a pulse bomb comes out, and no one falls yet, but team fight still going on. And a primal range is popped. BTW Bullet taken down, but Feedva is also taken down, with two going in the favor of Eternity. Dragon Blade is popped by Clouds, but it might not be enough. Nope, he's taking out two members. He might be able to hold this, or at least stall out for an extended period of time. And with Vapor Mist going down, it looks like they are in fact going to be able to hold this point as a Valkyrie comes in for the sides of Aporia eSports. Holding the point here is going to clear major objective tick time. We're at now 71 to 0% in favor of Aporia eSports. I don't know how to get rid of the sidebar, Flock. I've never streamed before. I usually just commentate in the background while someone else streams. I'll try to get rid of it between games. Eternity once more taking a point onto the fight, but it looks like too many people have already fallen on the side of Eternity. A res coming in onto Acrid is going to make this a very hard fight for Eternity to win, especially with BT. But BTW does go down, and Clouds as well. Self-destruct finding MJ, and that is going to be close to them winning the point here, but they have to clear out these remaining members of Aporia eSports, and they in fact do, taking cap of control of the point for the first time. Eternity is looking to hold it. Clouds does get low there, but manages to pull out without any problem, falling back into his team. And Vapor Mist finds the first kill onto Honey Milk, as well as Acrid going down to Gory Boss, and that is going to be 2, 3, 4 down on the side of Aporia down. And with that, despite the Bob being committed to that fight, Eternity is going to be able to secure another hold. Acrid coming in, rotating around back. Does not look like he's going to be able to find what he's looking for at the moment, but he is going to get out. Beat drop coming in from Aporia eSports, but same with Eternity. And a Dragon Blade committed by Clouds. Let's see how this goes. 2 down already, but then he is punched out of existence by JTT. Primal Rage committed, and with that, it is looking very back and forth here. Unclear who's going to win, but with the Reaper committed onto Vapor Mist, it looks like, yes, this might be the end of their hold. Two members of Eternity down, and it looks like it's going to be a struggle to get back onto point, and they are going to just barely make it with Super Lure, but Super Lure is not able to stay up. Vapor Mist falling as well, and that is going to be the end of map 1, or not map 1, point 1 of map 1. Moving on to Shrine, we have here a still 1-0 in favor of Aporia eSports. Anyone can win this, but Aporia is taking the league with a strong showing on their Chaos comp, which it does look like they are going to stick with. 2 healers, 1 tank, 3 DPS. With Honey Milk going down early in that fight, and Acrid as well, it looks like the bunker comp for Team Eternity is going to serve them rather well, managing to take out multiple people before the rest of the team can commit. Hunter Killer sitting in the back there with the Hanzo arrows and picking off the rest of the team. JTT falls early in that fight. Another dive into the back by Acrid. Quickly countered. But with a hack onto Gory Boss, it does not look like they are going to be able to fight that off quite yet. Vapor Mist falling as well with the main tank and one of the 2 off tanks down. This is looking like a tough fight. Cloud's going in with another Dragon Blade is going to clean up quite a few kills, but Vapor Mist got res during all of that and is going to be able to hold for a little bit longer. Vapor Mist going down, but Gory Boss is still in there. Low health Diva, can they hold on until their team can get back? Honey Milk going down, and it looks like they might just be able to stabilize this. Still no caps from Aporia eSports despite a almost won fight. EMP committed there by MJ, but it does not look like it is going to be enough to displace Hunter Killer with 3 kills on the Hanzo there in that last fight. Cloud's going down in the back to Hunter Killer as well is going to be a hard stagger. He's going to have to wait quite a long time for him to respawn and catch up with the rest of the team. There is a Sombra here in the background, but it looks like the Roadhog is watching out for him. Yes, JT does miss the hook, but is aware that the Sombra is back there. The Lucio here playing far back, trying not to get caught by an EMP, which he drops the beat going in. 4 ults, 3 ults popped by Team Eternal, and it looks like it is working out for them. You have to win fights when you pop that many ults, and with the overtime in progress, they might just be able to do it. And yes, Eternal does take point 2, map 1, tying up this map.
Score 1-1.
Alright, control point unlocking here in about 20 seconds. Sorry about that, trying to turn off the sidebar. And it looks like both teams are going for a bunker comp this time. Hanzo's on both sides, pushing in on each other, and look at that. It looks like they are going to push into the side here. Eternity managing to pick up 2 kills, 1 onto the main tank, and Clouds is not going to be able to hold up against that. And yes, with the rest of the team falling, Eternity is going to be taking the point. Looking very strong so far on this bunker comp. Going back up to meet their enemy at their choke. Not quite going to be able to get the Roadhog hook that they were looking for. And their hook onto Acrid, main tank of the enemy team, is going to open this fight right up for Team Eternity. eSports is looking rough. Aporia trying to fall back here. And Honeymilk falling as well. That's more and more members, less and less commitment. Hook coming in on the side of MJ, but it is not going to be enough with Jaybird falling into the background, cut off from the rest of his team. They are going to have to pull back here. Another hook, and looks like he is cut off as well, killing him due to the dragons. Very clean fights, very few ults used. If you look at the ult charges for Team Eternity, they are looking very well to take this next engagement. Diva over there watching the back, making sure nobody's sneaking up on him, and a res onto Super Lure is going to keep this team at 6v6, taking this choke. Coming from a different direction, they are going to have to fall to a different advantage point to hold, but once again, Acrid is picked off quickly, and with the whole hog cutting the team in half. This is looking rough, but a high noon might be enough to change it around, but no, Jaybird does go down to Gory Boss. With whole hogs being committed on both sides, it looks like Eternity is going to manage to clean this up. Acrid coming in from the bottom is not going to be able to hold it. And with many ults used on the side of both teams, we are going to see only a couple ults left. Gory Boss does have his self-destruct. Lure does have his beat drop. And Acrid has a supercharger on the side of it. But Bomb comes in and does find J-Board. J-Board going down at the cost of Gory Boss's life. Beat drop comes in to try to protect the team as the rest comes in. Hunter Killer picking up 2 quick picks there. And with Honeymilk falling, it looks like it is only going to be the Moira and the Diva on point, fighting for this team's chance at map 1. And with Diva falling, it looks like that's going to be a clean kill. Tracer coming in here trying to stall it out, but is not going to be able to hold on for very long. The rest of the team coming back in. Chaos Comp looks like it's back in style. And how long can they hold? No, with the whole hog coming in, pushing people off the point. That is going to be it. Eternity eSports is going to hold.
Play of the game.
Some very nice kills here by Jaybird on that Ashe. Very good kills. And with that, we are going to move into map 2, the
Thanks for your support.
2CP map, which will be Volskaya Industries. Alright, gonna go ahead and make sure we do not have any switches coming in from the two captains. No swaps on the side of Eternity, and waiting for a response from Aporia eSports. After that close match, it did look very even-sided. Eternity did look much stronger on that bunker comp, and Aporia did an excellent job shutting down Eternity's dive when running Chaos comp. So it is still anyone's game, depending on who is the strongest comp on each map. We will still be able to see a lot of different changes. We haven't seen any ghosts come out, and the two teams are ready, going to go ahead and start up the match now.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries. Initiating match.
Volskaya Industries, the Russian map, is going to be our second map here today. Be exciting to see which heroes each team chooses to come out with here for attack and defense. 9 seconds before we get to see anything, though. And it looks like we are going to be having another 3-tank bunker comp coming out for the side of Team Eternity. Aporia looking like a similar rundown.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Have to see what they end up walking out of spawn with, though. Can never quite tell what you're going to end with. Wait a minute, I got this mixed up. Aporia does look like they are going to have 2 tanks, a bunker comp kind of holding at this point, with a Torbjorn and the Hanzo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
And with the team coming, they are holding back farther from the choke. Do not want to get picked off, do not want to be cut off by teams. Cloud's falling back a little bit. Both teams slowly making their way, rotating around this point of high ground in the middle. The Hanzo fight is going, and Clouds is going to manage to get 2 with his arrow before getting hooked. He is not quite down yet, though. And no, he does manage to make it back to his team. Picking off 2 and then managing to make off back to his team after the hook is a very strong beginning to this fight. JTT falling as well. And look at the all charge on Cloud's Dragon Arrow. That is going to make a big difference in the upcoming fights. With Dragon Arrow already charged up, Dragon Strike already charged up, they are going to be seeing a switch onto Hunter Killer, but he is quickly plucked out of the air by Clouds. Hanzo rezzed up, but we're going to have to see how long he can hold out again. More pressure coming in, and Hunter Killer falls once again, this time to NJ's turret with help from Honeymaker's Diva. Falling back onto point to hold. Cloud still holding this high ground position, manages to find 1 pick onto the Mercy, and MJ finding another one onto the off-tank Hog. Eternity hurting right now, falling again, and that is going to be another hold by Aporia eSports. Managing to hold on to that high ground through 2 extended fights is very impressive on the side of Clouds, managing to pressure the Pharah out of the air. And once again, We do have Dragon Strike Arrow coming in, going to cut the team in half. They are not going to be able to push in on this right now. Gory Boss falling in the meantime. A sleep onto JT is going to bring him low, but he is going to manage to pull out, not quite staggering himself. They are still waiting on their Diva to come back from spawn, as well as their Pharah. But yes, they are back and putting pressure onto Clouds once again. This position, you can see the Lucio playing farther back from his tanks, trying to make sure he doesn't get EMP'd. They do not have a Sombra, but that discipline is very clear to see on a Lucio that has played against a lot of Sombras. Cloud's getting halted there, but is not going to manage to find anything. They're holding this high ground here. Eternity is waiting for the right chance to strike, probably waiting to try to get Clouds off this high ground, and then they're pushing in. With the supercharger being dropped, a lot of damage coming in, and a whole hog is not going to be able to hold it though. Clouds headshotting JT with the Dragon Strike arrows, and then 2 coming down for Honeymilk might just manage to turn this fight around. Clouds has fallen here, but with Honeymilk taking out 2, it is not going to matter, as well as the Roadhog being dead. Roadhog's coming back from spawn is going to buy plenty of time for Clouds to make it back. Continuing to watch the fight here, we are seeing BTW Bullet falling, but not going to be enough to bring down the tame. Honeymilk is out of mech, and it is a slow, bloody fight for the side of Aporia. Still trying to hold on, but a barrage coming in is slept before it can find anything. But a lot of people have fallen out. Just Clouds on the point, and it does not look like he's going to be able to turn this around by anything short of a miracle. MJ was around the back there, did not see him, but is not going to be quite enough. And that is Eternal taking the point just before overtime. 3 minutes and 4 seconds coming to the next start. Next point. Coming up here, playing around the corners, trying to keep this turret up. That is their plan, to pressure out this Pharah is the turret and the Hanzo, but Pharah is quickly putting pressure onto the Hanzo in the back, taking him down. MJ's turret is down, Jaybird is down as well, Hunter Killer getting into the back line of Team Aporia, and that might just be the end of the push, but no, MJ coming in with a Molten Core might be able to hold it. Lucio getting cut off, but no, he is doing just fine. Yep. Super Lure is going to be taken down there. JTT has to pop his ult to try to hold on to it. Manages to get 2 kills. Jaybird falling again. Not quite sure how that happened. Clouds is going to take out Feedva and then pop a Dragon Arrow before going down to Hunter Killer. A Diva Bomb on the side of Eternity is flying up to the high ground, but lands on the little perch and does not manage to connect with any of the enemy team. Hunter Killer popping out with another ult that, before getting slept, is going to earn them another tick. 2 ticks on the side, and a beat drop might be enough to secure this point on the side of Team Eternity, but not quite yet. They're still fighting. Lucio on the point, quite hard to displace, lots of movement, and Diva coming in trying to kill this Pharah. Looks like they managed to get back onto the point just as Honeymilk falls, and there goes BTW Bullet as well. Hook on to MJ is going to take down that Tracer, and with only the Orisa and the Ana on point left, it does not look like Team Aporia is long for the hold on this point just now. And yes, that is Eternal taking both points in the first push. Not uncommon to see both points capped on a 2CP map, however, even after the 2CP changes, so especially Volskaya. So, not over yet. Still a lot to expect from both teams. And let's go ahead and see what they go with. This time Eternal will be on the defense. We'll have to see how they do. Team Eternal coming out of the base with their 3-2-1 bunker style composition. I really do. I really do need that second host. It's hard on my throat to talk this much. And mostly the problem is when I need to pause for breath or there's downtime, there's nothing to say and I just sit there in silence and it's kind of awkward. But it's fun. So going in here, Jaybird falling immediately to Hunter Killer's Storm Arrow. Looks like a dive on the side of Aporia eSports. They're going to have to pause and wait for their Jaybird to come back into the skies. Looking like they want to rotate around here. Winston going onto the high ground, diving on top, and backed up by MJ here. Hanzo not quite, or McCree not quite finding any picks yet, and it does look like, yes, both the tanks have fallen for the side of Aporia, with Eternal looking very strong on their hold so far. Hunter Killer once again killing Clouds as they try to find their position to fall back to their team. And Jaybird going down to JTT, a well-timed shot. But JTT is caught out by the rest of his team, and that is going to be rough to recover from. Dragon Strike Arrow not quite getting eaten by that Diva Matrix. Diva Matrix going down just too late and takes out Honey Milk on the Mercy. Very important pick to find. And popping Primal Rage, Acrid is going to manage to kill Feedva. Feedva on the enemy Mercy now. The two fights are even with spawn advantage. Aporia eSports is looking very well off. Acrid is going to go down at the end of that fight, though. However, they're not quite going to be able to hold on. And now they have to wait a little bit longer before they can set their second push. And it does look like the McCree and the Mercy are going to make it back on the side of Eternity. Eternity Hunter Killer is switching up onto the McCree off of the Hanzo despite his good showing. Diva Bomb getting thrown into the back. Hooked by JTT, manages to kill both of the tanks on the side of Eternal. And it's just the Diva left trying to hold on. Diva throwing in the bomb is not going to connect. Team Aporia falling back too quickly to find the targets on the tank. Super Lure falling as well. And it is just going to be the supports. It's just going to be one support, one tank, and one DPS trying to hold this point. Hunter Killer managing to take Diva out of mech, but Gory Boss going down as well. And that is quickly going to be Aporia's eSports point. With 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, that is a better time than Eternal managed on point 1. But we'll have to see how point 2 defense goes. With the Dragon Strike Arrow going right in, they are not waiting for this team to be able to set up. High Noon coming out is waiting for targets and does manage to find Clouds in the back there. Clouds getting picked up, MJ falling out of the mech, and with MJ getting hooked by the enemy Roadhog, it does look like Eternal is going to manage to stabilize, but not before Jaybird pops an ult, taking Gory Boss out of mech. Clouds falling once again, must have gotten rezzed, I missed that, sorry. And Clouds falling once again means that this is not going to be an easy fight for Aporia. They're kind of just staggering themselves, just the two supports. The two supports might manage to make it back to their tank line when their tank line comes in, and yes, they are going to manage to stay in. Super Lure falling as the tanks come in. Honey Milk going down as well, and Acrid falling. With two down, the main tank and the main healer of Team Aporia, as well as the off tank, it does not look like this is going to be their push. Eternal is pushing forward, ready to stagger off any more of these kills. And when they find Clouds, they are going to back off here, finding that they had the stagger they were looking for. Playing back on point here, we do see Team Aporia trying to look for their dive target, and with the bunker comp from Team Eternal, it is just so close quarters. It is hard to find one member isolated by themselves, but it looks like they might be able to. Nope, looks like a hook comes in from Team JTP, and it does not look like. Yep, BTW bullet falling to that High Noon. That's all you need to keep them from pushing in there. And with the Mercy getting caught out by the McCree, is not going to manage to get the red. Acrid falling, but that is 2 down on the side of Eternal Esports. Eternal does have the spawn advantage, but with the Diva Bomb coming in, this might not be enough. Hook manages to hold it in front of the barrier. Very well-timed hook from JT there. Diva out of mech behind, and Hanzo alone on the side. It does not look like Eternal is going to have any problem holding this point. And with Clouds finally going down to Feedva, it is not going to be a good push from Aporia. Aporia managing to get caught out by too many, and it looks like they are in fact going to make some changes. We do have Brawl tanks coming in and to back up the ults from Bob and Clouds with the Dragon Strike arrows. Acrid pushing in right in front. Dragon Strike arrows coming in through the back, going to try to get the sides. Bob going straight into that back corner, and with... I had to see what that bomb connects. Bomb connects with MJ, and Clouds going down as well to Gory Boss. Is not going to be a good stop. Vapor Mist falling, but Vapor Mist does get res. And not quite going to get the res off there on Mercy. Pushed away by the enemy Diva. Gory Boss knows what he's about, and what he's about is bullying everyone. Trying to look for a little firebomb there, but is not quite going to connect with any members of Internal. Gory Boss falling in here is going to get demeched, and yes, Gory Boss is going to fall here. Looks like they have a 1 down, but High Noon is being popped once again. Is going to find BTW Bullet. Bob not quite going to get into the back line like he wanted to. JT is going to fall, but not before he manages to kill Acrid on the side of Team Aporia. Team Aporia looking very rough here, trying to get onto point, are managing to trigger overtime, but it does not look like their Zarya is going to be able to push onto point alone. No, she is hooked and killed by JT. Gory Boss managing to take out Honey Milk, and that does look like it's going to be the end of Map 2. Eternal taking Eternity taking Map 2 as well. I don't know how to say these names. And with Hunter Killer on the McCree taking play of the game, let's see what this is. Very nice kill onto Clouds. A flashbang fan the hammer is going to secure Honey Milk. Staying cool while you're being bounced around through the air on the Junkrat is not easy, but he is going to manage it.
Excellent.
And with that, we are going to be moving on to map 3. Dubani. So the hybrid map for today will be Nubani. Waiting for a confirmation from the 2 captains. And it does look like we might be getting a sub here from Aporia eSports. Sub or 2. Those of you just joining us here, we are going to be having a 2-0 in favor of Eternity going into map 3, and it looks like Aporia eSports having a tough time coming back from this. They are going to have to reverse sweep the other team to be able to keep in it for now. And Eternity looking in a very good place for the time being. Can they take all 4 maps? Will they have to go to round 5? We shall see. Still waiting on a confirmation from Acrid for the readiness of their team. All right, we are waiting on Aporia eSports. There is no rush, but they have to set a couple things up before they are ready to go into map 3, rethinking some things, trying to figure out how to get this reverse sweep for the win. Just one moment. All right, and with that, it looks like we are ready. Gonna go ahead and start map 3.
Traveling to Mumbai. Initiating match.
The score is currently 2-0 Eternity.
Ready for battle.
Aporia here coming in on a bunker comp with a Sombra
Attackers incoming.
Hanzo to hold this first point, Nubani. They are going to be setting up just up this staircase here. Common place to set up. Nope, they are rotating around the building to the far end of point. And it looks like Eternity is going to be running the same 3-tank bunker comp that they have been running, this time with a Baptiste on the second port. So I'm poking around the back line is going to be able to see their entire team here and report their positions. Other Sombra doing the same for the tide of Team Eternal. And it does look like Toskars is going to be spotted here. And a hook onto JT is going to put him in a very bad position. Him getting hooked into the back of the team and then killed. Hunter Killer falling quickly after when he tries to support. Clouds finding 2 kills on that Roadhog. Just realizing I forgot to turn off custom skins, but not going to worry about it right now. Sombra is spotted here and is going to have to fall back quickly to their team before the team manages to push out. Hook going to go wide, not going to find anyone. And Sombra once again dropping onto point is going to start making tick percentage. Hook on, or hack onto Jaybird is going to get him killed when he tries to qualify. EMP coming down on the side of Aporia is going to... Aporia EMP'd there, but Eternity is managing to clean up the kills despite that. Managing to get 3-4 kills. It is just MJ left on the point, and he is going to fall as well. Always feels bad to drop an EMP on a fight there and then lose so quickly afterwards. Hunter Killer picked off in the back again by Jaybird. Hunter Killer does have that EMP. We are looking at 2 very stacked teams for ultimates. Tokara's switching on to the Junkrat for Streets phase of Nubani. Holding around this corner. And they are going to drop Supercharger and start charging him. A EMP coming in for Hunter Killer is going to be followed up by a Diva Bomb, which is going to find 2 and a Supercharger. JT managing to pick up Tokara's and Hunter Killer getting rezzed afterwards. Very clean fight here. Cloud's going to be tracked down on the high ground by Gory Boss and taken out. And that is the end of Streets phase of Nubani. Tokara's found once again. JTT picking off Nindaros. Tokara's is going to get rezzed up by the Mercy, but how much difference is going to make? Dragon Arrow coming in. Jaybird is going to find JTT cut off by the Dragon Arrow up somewhere. But a res is going to get him back up. Switching up onto the Brawl tanks once again. Aporia eSports is trying to hold on to this in the final phase of Nubani, but they have a lot of momentum to stop over here. Jaybird going down, but Feedba does get found by the Riptire, and Jaybird rezzed up. It looks like this might be the spot they finally needed to bring down the momentum, and with BTW Bullet falling is not going to be enough to stop Aporia's hold. Jaybird finding Super Lure with that ultimate is going to keep more members from supporting their now cut off team. Just watching this Roadhog get bullied over here in the corner, and he is going to pop ult before he dies. JT is found in a bad position and bullied for far too long there. They do manage to kill the Zarya, meaning the Zarya does not get to take their charge into the second fight, and Jaybird falls as well, but their team is not going to be in a position to follow that up at the time being. Ultimate Supercharger being dropped for the time of Eternal, and pushing in with the EMP is going to find multiple targets here, 4 targets, but is not going to be enough to kill Aporia outright. However, it is going to lead to an eventual kill onto multiple members of Team Aporia. Vapor Mist managing to get rezzed behind the Reinhardt, and a Dragon Strike arrow from Jaybird might just clean this up. MJ falling as well. Riptire is not going to find anyone. Super Lures, EMP, Immortality Field going down. Is Grav dropped, but is not going to find anyone. Clouds, once again, struggling to hold on to the point. Aporia, 4 members on the point. The payload has not moved for a long time, despite Aporia looking like they're losing this defense. And really, as the defenders, what you want is long, drawn-out fights. A fight where you look like you're losing for 2 or 3 minutes is much better than a fight that you win decisively when you're on defense. But with Ninja's hacked here, might be the end of that. Ninja's falling, Tuskara's falling, Vapor Mists is going to lose their Supercharger, but not before it does its work. EMP is going to take care of that Reinhardt and Moira, but a hack coming into Clouds is not going to let him stall for any amount of time. Brigitte coming in onto point along with the Dragon Strike arrow, trying to hold on, but is not going to be enough for the time being, and it does look like that is going to be Eternal taking 3 points on Nubani with time to spare.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
And with Eternal looking in a very good position to take map 3 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the board, we are going to have to see what Aporia can pull out to try to take Nubani. If they can't take Nubani, they cannot take this game, which is not a big deal, but loses their flawless record.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Team Eternal once again going with the 3-2-1 comp that they've been running so well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Rest team falling back to be with their Orisa now after some initial poke damage. It does look like Aporia is going to be coming in with the Pharah, trying to take some damage off of the enemy team. The enemy team, Eternal, responding by hiding around the corner and making sure they do not get found by that Pharah. Falling down off a high ground as that shield breaks. Super Lure is the first to fall in this extended team fight, but is rezzed up quickly by Feedva. Feedva managing to get the res on, but not before 1 tick is lost. EMP coming out for the side of Aporia eSports might be the end of this hold, but it's not quite now. Nidorius and Minja falling. MJ coming back up. Gory Boss Super Lure, once again falling in this fight, is not going to have a rest this time. And with a barrage coming in, it looked like they might have been in a good position to finally take tick 2, but no, they do manage to hold it. Mercy not quite going to get that res off, is going to be stunned out of it, and that does look like the end of Eternal's hold of point 1. And with almost 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the board, they are going to move into the street phase of Nubani. Looking for a hook there, but not quite going to be able to connect. And here we come with the two teams coming in for the next fight. All sites marked. They do know where everybody is. But with Bob coming in on the enemy team, what is Bob going to be able to get done? EMP coming in, going to take out every single member of Team Eternal. But the Immortality field is going to manage to keep up all of their members. Only Hunter Killers, Bob going down in that fight. JTT managing to find Jaybird, Ninjas, MJ, and Cloud going down one after another. It does not look good for Team Aporia for the time being. Sombra in the back here is going to get a hack onto... Gory Boss does look AFK here, and is in fact AFK, but back now. Whole team rotating, not going to push through this front streets phase. Looks like they're going to be coming around the back, and they wrap around flawlessly, pushing into the back line of Team Eternal, but it is not going to matter. With two rapid kills onto Jaybird and MJ, it is not going to be a fun fight to be Aporia. Aporia, Jaybird falling again. Clouds does manage to find Hunter Killer, but Hunter Killer is quickly rezzed up by Feedva, and that is going to be a fight won for Eternal. With two more kills, just bringing on the stagger, it does not look like Team Aporia is going to be able to come back into this for a fair bit. Hunter Killer holding this high ground position here, looking for vantage point. And another supercharger coming in. Bob running in as well. Jaybird is not going to manage to get his high noon off as he is mowed down by Vapor Mist. Ninja's falling as well. The Hunter Killers. EMP coming in does find 5 members of Team Eternal. Eternity is going to lose 2 members to that. Vapor Mist, Feedva, and now Super Lure falling one after another. We do have Gory Boss getting out of here. Gory Boss does have the ultimate waiting to hold, waiting for the rest of the team, trying to hide around this corner so that he is not spotted. Hoping to catch this team out of position for the Diva Bomb that is about to come in. Hunter Killer quickly hacked and killed. And Diva Bomb coming in is going to find Jaybird. But that is not the team wiping ult that they were hoping for. Gory Boss quickly hacked and taken out of mech in the backline. Super Lure taken down as well. Vapor Mist does manage to find MJ, however, and Super Lure rezzed up. MJ rezzed up as well. Both Mercies able to get their reses off, and this turns back into a fight. Gory Boss still trying to make their way back to their team here. And they do manage to get back into mech. With only 30 seconds left here to take this point, a quick and EMP coming in is not going to make that easy to hold for Team Eternal. Eternal quickly falling, but 3 members are still on the board. But 3 turns to 2, 2 turns to 1, and 1 turns to 0. Torquez managing to stay alive through that entire fight with Jaybird on the high ground, and the 2 of them managed to push the payload. Close call there for Team Aporia. And Aporia is not, in fact, going to be able to take this map with as much time as Team Eternal, even if they made it all the way through, which is not a guarantee at the moment. MJ hooked into the enemy team, and he is taking a lot of damage there, trying to back up, trying to save his shield. But Bob coming in for Team Aporia, and a bomb following up is going to find no one, with MJ quickly repositioning himself to manage to block that for his team. Ninjaris is forced to use Transcendence to keep himself alive through that D.Va ult, however. And with the pressure from the backline, it does look like they are going to have to fall back to deal with JT. JT going down here now. And an EMP finding 3 members, hammered down, finding only Vapor Mist as the rest of the team backs up quickly. But with a charge coming in, going to DMAC Gory Boss. Gory Boss falling quickly is not going to be a good way to start off this defense. Bob coming in, but a Whole Hog is going to manage to keep the Bob out of the fight for the most part. But not before the Bob manages to kill Vapor Mist. Now we have the opposite of last time. We have D.Va and a Sombra trying to hold on to this point while they're waiting for their respawns, and it does not look like they will be able to do it for the time being. Trapping in overtime would be more than fine for Aporia eSports, but they haven't quite done it yet. Stall Heroes coming out. We have the Wrecking Ball. We have the Mei trying to hold on to this point, but Vapor Mist goes down. Feedva falling. It's just the Mei holding on with their point, and it looks like they are down. Tracer now blinking around point, and a hammer down is going to find her, and Aporia eSports manages to take point 3. But taking it well into overtime, they are not going to be getting a second attacking round. It looks like that is the end of Aporia's hopes to win this season, this game, but not the end of their ability to tie this map. With a tie on this map and a win on the next map, they will be in a good position with still a high amount of win-loss for map differential. Differential. My brain's starting to go. Commentating is hard.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Killer hopping on a point for a moment there, and MJ falling quickly to the brawl in that to the bunker in that small room. Cloud's forced to pull back. Hunter Killer putting a lot of pressure onto the point, forcing the rest of the team to follow up. Team Aporia is kind of running a chaos comp with a Reinhardt instead of Wrecking Ball. But with multiple members falling, it does not look like the defense is long for this world. EMP coming in is going to manage to knock Gory Boss out of mech. Jaybird managing to find the kill onto Gory Boss. But it does look like they managed to stabilize that hold, managing to get the kills that count, and managing to get their team back from spawn. Wrecking Ball coming in here, trying to get onto point, does succeed in doing so, but is quickly killed. Hunter Killer going down on the Wrecking Ball, and it does look like the rest of the team is going to have to push it quickly. Gory Boss going down, and a Reaper ult coming out of clouds might just secure this point for Team Aporia, managing to take the tie, but not quite yet. Vapor Mist still in the point, still killing clouds, but no, is down, and that is going to be a tie in round 3.
Post-mission diagnostics.
Aporia eSports doing an excellent job there, managed to hold on for the draw, and now going into map 4. See if they can take the 1-2 loss. Watch Point Gibraltar. And it does look like both teams are now ready to go into round 4. Final map of this game. See what the final score is going to be.
Initiating match. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming.
3-tank dive on the side of Eternal is going to quickly push into the Brawl Chaos comp of Team Aporia. Aporia responding well, hacking the Wrecking Ball and cutting him off from behind. Hunter Killer does fall quickly after that. charge goes wide of the Winston, but Winston's hack and quickly killed. Doomfist does manage to find Ninjas in the back line and then falls quickly. Ninjas does get rezzed up by Honeymilk. Rez onto the side of Rez going into Super Lure is going to manage to keep this team as a 66, no staggers currently, but Jaybird does go down. JT trying to get a little bit of pressure on this payload, pushing it a little forward. For the entirety of team Aporia eSports collapsed in on them, but it does not look like MJ is going to get out of that collapse. With Eternal holding the high ground here, it is going to be a hard hold for Team Aporia. Honeymilk falling to the Storm Arrow is not going to make that any easier. Going to have to see what this Reaper can do getting into the back line. But they do spot him and quickly react. Meanwhile, the rest of Team Aporia is going to have a hard time pushing in here. But the EMP comes in, 2 falling, and Ace. Not quite sure they needed that Death Blossom right there. Super Lure does get taken out with it, however. And they manage to stabilize with the help of Tokar's EMP onto multiple members of Team Eternal. Eternity. The bomb coming up over the top is not going to find anyone. Gory Boss hacked in the back is going to go down to Clouds, and a Dragon Strike arrow not going to be able to confirm any kills there. Hook by JT in the background is not going to be enough to keep him alive as the team quickly discovers where he is and collapses in on him. A lot of damage on the side of Aporia eSports. And they're holding very well. On a Cloud is not quite going to connect there, and Cloud keeping them from pushing into this high ground. Tokars does fall to the Storm Arrow of Hunter Killer. Hunter Killer getting fed by the Firebomb of Ash, but is not. Ash sent into server room does not look like he's going to be able to confirm kills here. MJ falling, Jaybird falling to Vapor Mist, and an EMP coming in is not quite going to be enough to save Honeymilk or Clouds. Ninja's falling as well to a Sonic Arrow to the Dome, and Tokar's falling. MJ throwing his hammer down there is not going to manage to connect with any members of Eternity. Hunter Killer falling to Jaybird on the high ground, however. Bomb coming in the back is going to manage to catch Indros out of position, but not before Cloud's Death Blossom takes out 3. Hunter Killer taking out Jaybird in return, but Cloud's following up and killing Jaybird. Hunter Killer. Hunter Killer did use his ultimate in that fight, and it looks like the only ults on both sides we are going to have going into this next fight are the Mercy ults, Valkyrie, as well as a possible Roadhog ult from JT. Hunter Killer quickly finding a pick onto that Widowmaker switch, taking out a 2 scares. But Super Lure once again falling to the DPS. Jaybird taking out Hunter Killer in return. And Reaper coming into the background. Clouds not afraid to brawl with the tanks. EMP Hammer Down is going to catch Viva. just outside of that shield, and Vapor Mist falling as well. A hook onto Ninjaris is going to secure that kill, but is not going to be enough to keep JT alive as the rest of the team takes their revenge.
60 seconds remaining.
60 seconds remaining, and just inside of point 2.
Helden sterben nicht.
Bob coming in on the side of Aporia eSports, and a whole hog's going to manage to take out one before he falls to Ninjas in return. Not quite the effective Reaper ult as we saw last time. Clouds is going to, however, fall to Hunter Killer multiple headshots as he tries to Wraith away. Knowing where the entire enemy team is now, overtime is coming in for this point 2. Transcendence managing to keep most of the team up, but MJ does fall in Honey Milk as well. Ninja is falling behind quick soon after, and with Clouds ulting on point, it does not look like his team is going to be able to back him up at all after two supports die and their only tank. And with that, that is point 2 captured by Team Eternity. Whole hog coming in trying to kill MJ before he can get back to his team. Ninjaris is going to fall to Vapor Mist as the shield drops. Reaper hooked. Clouds going to have to try to follow that up, but is not quite going to secure the kill onto JT as he falls back to his team's position.
60 seconds remaining.
Hammerdown coming in here is only going to find Vapor Mist, but is not going to be able to be followed up on as a hook catches him and keeps him from doing any further damage. Hunter Killer does find Jaybird before going down to Clouds, but is not going to be enough as Jaybird is rezzed up. The entire team is forced to fall back. Diva Bomb coming in, but is not going to find anyone but Jaybird, who is in this position properly, and fall. And with Hunter Killer back in the sniper perch, it looks like they are going to be able to wreak havoc on the back line of Team Aporia eSports. Another whole hog is going to keep that Diva from coming in, and they are going to get some progress on this one. Going into overtime for the 3rd time here. Will they be able to take point 3 as they took point 2 and point 1? A quick halt there. Fortify, rather, blocks the Rhine charge and is not quite going to be able to. But the Transcendence is used to res up the Reinhardt. Reinhardt coming back into the fight, but Jaybird falling once again to JTT. Gory Boss managing to find both the supports with that EMP shooting combo. Cloud not quite able to confirm kills that need to be confirmed there with the Reaper ult, and that is going to be round 1 complete, pushing all 3 points on Gibraltar.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
With no time remaining, Aporia does still have a chance to win this point.
Match.
3, 2, 1. Once again, bunker comp for the defending Eternity. Hunter Killer on the Widowmaker is going to make up the DPS for that comp. And it looks like Team Aporia is going to be trying to run a dive. Dive with Reaper, Genji as the DPS.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the pain.
Honeymilk goes down early there in that beginning of the fight. Hunter Killer managing to find that early pick, but Hunter Killer is picked off by Mindris. Mindris finding the dink on that Zenyatta, but rezzed up quickly by Viva. With Mindris falling as well to JTT, this hold is saved for the time being. MJ falls on that Diva to JT. JT coming back to his team and no harm done. Widowmaker currently engaged in the snipe off with the Zenyatta. And the dive quickly picked apart to stop from hitting Nindris. And Winston not quite managing to be pushed off. Tokez managing to get back onto the map there, and rezzed up by Honeymilker when he goes goes down. Falling back here, it looks like Gorybass managed to find Tokez, but Hunter Killer taken down by Jaybird, plunked to the back of the head when they weren't looking. Still trying to hold this position here. Reaper in their backline is going to pop ult, and they're not quite going to have enough defense matrix to save it, but quickly taken out. The defense matrix that they had was more than enough. Diva Bomb going into the background is going to find 3 and shut down that point quickly and efficiently. Still 2 minutes left on the clock, about halfway to go until they get point 1 to continue this map. Hunter Killer sniped by Jaybird as retreating. It gives up the high ground to the 2 snipers of Team Aporia eSports. MJ popping Diva Bomb in the back there is not going to manage to stay alive. It's going to be a big loss for their team. But Vapor Mist falling in the front as they try to make this fight happen. JT falling as well. Hunter Killer going down to Jaybird once again. And Super Lure coming in to kill Tokez. Tokez does get red to stop, however. Jaybird falling to Super Lure once. And a Dragon Blade cutting this team in half. There, Mercy Viva is going to go down there, and it looks like this might be the end of this hold by Team. But not quite yet. With the Immortality Field and the Transcendence, is just enough to keep Tokez alive on that Orisa. And it does look like that might be the end of this push. Only 3 players remaining on the field for 2 players remaining. Or 3 players remaining still on the field for Team Eternity. Eternity trying to dance around this point. Diva going down, Vapor Mist going down, and it is just the Roadhog. Roadhog trying to stall an ult in overtime. Diva coming in as well, does have that Immortality Field, but it's not quite going to be enough. Tokar's going down, knocked out a mech, just a baby Diva against, and that is cap for Aporia eSports. auto called, not quite going to connect there. And watching out for the Widowmaker after Hunter Killer's death. Finishing onto the top of the dropship here. The Widowmaker fight is going to go in favor of the Hanzo. And a self-destruct thrown into the backline is going to kill Gory Boss. But Gory Boss's own self-destruct is going to kill Ninjas and Tokars, as well as MJ getting killed. And Gory Boss getting rezzed up. Very efficient trades there. Cloud's getting picked off of this side, and Tokars is going to be alone trying to hold this push. Baptiste coming back for the size of Eternity. And with the Supercharger drop, they are just going to play this corner, try to stay alive, but Dragon's going to cut straight through them, do a lot of damage. Super Lure is going to go down. But a quick res by FIFA is going to bring him back up. Super Lure once again falling. Vapor Mist is down. And Ninja's being rezzed up. It looks like this might be the push Asporia's been looking for to finish off this point. Diva Bomb going off on the high ground does find Hunter Killer. But looks like the kills are going to come in for Team Eternity in the end, bringing the total to 3-0 Eternity for this match. Very well played by Gory Boss there. Very well played by both teams, but in the end, it is going to be Team Eternity taking this game. Now we're going to see if anybody is interested in doing interviews, and then we'll be closing down the stream. Does not look like interviews are going to be happening, so we are going to go ahead and shut down this stream now. I have been Lord of the Whale Lord. This is Season 3, Week 10, Eternity versus Aporia eSports. Eternity does take it 3-0. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you join us next time.